Hey there, welcome to Old Man Runner. In today's video, I'm going to review this, the Garmin HRM-Pro heart rate monitor. First, I'm going to give a quick overview of the unit and its specifications. Then I'm going to review it. Finally, I'm going to see if I can recommend it. I bought the HRM-Pro because I'm interested in capturing more accurate heart rate data. I have an Apple Watch, and sometimes on runs, my heart rate is 0. And sometimes it's 225. Somewhere in between those extremes is probably the correct answer. I recently switched to a Garmin FR955 Solar, which I planned to review first, and then the heart rate monitor. This is complicated, so I decided to do the simple ones first. So here we are reviewing the heart rate monitor. The HRM-Pro is Garmin's premium heart rate monitor, largely used for running and swimming, but also cycling, walking, all sorts of things like that. It takes your heart rate, but it also has running dynamics, your cadence, your vertical oscillation, your ground contact time, your stride length, and your vertical ratio. I'll go through those a bit later on. But it also does recently cross-country skiing. My focus is on running, and so we're going to dive in there. First thing you got to do is wear it to pair it. You put it on with the Garmin logo facing up. It's a simple adjustable chest strap, and you wear it just below the sternum. You only need to go through the manual procedure of connecting it to the watch and the phone once. Once it's paired, every time you're back within range, which is about 3 meters or about 10 feet, it automatically connects. It connects to the Garmin Connect app on your phone and to most Garmin watches, but not all, so check. It uses Ant Plus and Bluetooth, and it can also connect to comparable fitness equipment like Zwift, etc. So first you download the Garmin Connect app to your phone, then you go down and hit the 3 little dots to indicate more, open Garmin device and hit add devices. It's fairly straightforward. The watch is fairly straightforward as well. You hit the up key for a couple of seconds till the menu arrives. You scroll down to sensors and accessories. You hit sensors and accessories and hit add new, and it's pretty much straightforward after that. I say straightforward and I make it sound really easy. It took me an awful long time to get this thing done. I think it took me an hour or so. I watched lots of videos. I just couldn't get this thing to work. I watched lots of videos. I swapped out the battery. I thought, well, I bought the unit from Amazon, more of that later, and I thought it could have been lying around in a warehouse for a long time. Who knows, the battery could be dead. So I swapped out the battery, not an easy task, and still wouldn't work. Getting frustrated, watched more videos, went to the last resort of your average man. I read the manual to discover that if you have another Bluetooth or wireless device within 10 feet or 3 meters, that can interfere with it. So I noticed I was wearing my Stride foot pod, took the Stride foot pod off, and paired immediately. The battery is a fairly straightforward coin cell CR2032, fairly common, lasts about a year. It's fiddly to change. You take off the cover strip, and then you've got to undo 4 Phillips screws. Not too tricky. Then there's an O-ring. You have to flick out the battery. You swap it over. The O-ring I found really tricky to get to line in place, and bearing in mind it's probably providing some waterproofing and some sealing. But anyway, you can sort of do that. The tricky part is that you don't know how long the unit has been lying around. There's no on and off switch, so you don't really know how long the battery's going to last. And then the app has a battery status, yes or no, but not a percentage. So if it's running low and you're heading out on a long run, maybe it'll run out on the run. Garmin have a little diagram to show you how to and when to clean and take care of it. It's actually quite well done. It's a cartoon sort of thing. But effectively what they're saying is that once you've gone for a run or a swim, you can rinse it under the tap to just wash off the water or the sweat. If you've gone for a swim in a pool with chlorine, you should wash it in a soapy sort of liquid after every swim, or do that once every 7 ordinary runs or swims, and then just leave it to drip dry. You do not put it in your dryer. The unit gives you running dynamics. That's what I'm primarily interested in. It'll give you your cadence in steps per minute, left and right, your vertical oscillation, your bounce measured on the torso in centimeters. All the dynamics are in the metric system, so if you're not familiar with centimeters and meters, that can be a bit tricky, but it gives you ground contact time in milliseconds. It won't do that when you're walking, you have to be running, and it'll give you the left and right balance in your ground contact time with a little arrow and a percentage pointing left or right. I don't know how useful that'll be. And then it'll give you your stride length in meters. It'll also give you your vertical ratio, which I am interested in running efficiency. You could work it out for the previous figures, but it'll give you the vertical ratio in the terms of the vertical oscillation to stride, and the lower the figure, the better. The other thing about these figures that's really handy is you can see them on the watch live if you pair the running dynamics, and of course you can analyze them later on the phone, and also you can analyze them on the computer, which is very useful for trying to see what happened when you're out running, and for me to compare different shoes and what's going on when I run at different speeds in different shoes. As well as running, people use the unit for cycling and various things, but also for swimming. Now I don't swim an awful lot. It's ideal for use in open water. If you're wearing it in the pool, when you do the tumble turn and the push off, it could slip down, and that would be problematic. Not difficult if you're wearing a triathlon suit or a full swimsuit. And then it won't measure your heart rate in the water, so you can't look at a watch when you're in the water and get your heart rate. What it does is you wait till you get out of the water, and then when you're within range of the phone or the watch, it'll sync. There's lots of activities where you can't wear a watch, but you still want to get your data, your heart rate, your steps, your calories. You might be counting calories during the day or want to see how far you went. A typical one might be playing soccer, where you mightn't be wearing the watch, but essentially you start the activity, wear the heart rate monitor, take off the watch, go play, and when you come back, the data will sync when you're in range of the watch. The unit weighs 51 grams or 1.8 ounces, similar to a watch, but as it's worn on the center line, it's evenly distributed, the weight. It's straight out of the box, it fitted me fine. I'm a medium. It's 60 centimeters or 23.62 inches to 106 centimeters or 41.73 inches. Doesn't seem all that wide actually, but it does. You can get an extender that will bring it up to 140 centimeters or 55.12 inches, and that costs about $10 and clips in easily enough to the strap. The design is very simple of it. It has a semi-rigid front and a stretchy back, and the Garmin logo always points up, so you know it's in the right way, which is a really good idea. It's got a fairly fiddly O-ring, as I mentioned, when you're changing the battery, but that's okay. There's different types of heart rate monitors. This is probably the premium one. There is a blue one, a sort of blue oval. That's the triathlon one. There's a blue with a blue strap. That's the swimming one. There's one with red, which is the running one. And I think there might be a white one coming. I wondered about how it would feel over long distances when I was running, but actually it felt great. I didn't notice it at all. On a 5K park run race, never noticed it, didn't notice it on the way down, didn't notice it on the way back, paid no attention to it. I wonder what it'd be like on a marathon or on a very hot day. It's summer now, it's not that hot, where you might have a lot of perspiration. You might need to use some sort of lube to stop it chafing. I don't know. I see a lot of pro cyclists wearing them. They're out for a very long day, but perhaps they're mostly sitting in the saddle. I don't know. I'll give it a go. But I'm not expecting any great problems with it. It's very comfortable so far. I probably won't use it on all my runs. I mean, I really bought it for performance testing, and so far I'm really pleased with that. I may use it for racing. It might be that there's the odd dynamic that comes from the unit that I might find useful racing, but I'm really not sure yet. Garmin lists this on their websites at €129.99, $129.99 US, 119.99 sterling, pounds, and 159 Australian dollars. By way of comparison, they list the swim and the run heart rate monitors with less functionality at just under $100 or €100. Now, I wouldn't buy it off. I didn't buy it off Garmin. I got it on Amazon.co.uk for £88.14. And I noticed it this morning on Walmart for $90.90. I saw it on AliExpress for about €50. So yeah, it's cheaper all over the place. By way of comparison, a Stride FootPod, which captures similar data but has a wind measuring device within it, is €229. The Garmin does factor in the wind, but it relies on an external service such as windy.com or something like that. So if you really want accurate live wind, you would want the Stride. Other than that, and you've got a Garmin watch, this is a pretty good idea. And if you only want just heart rate data, don't buy this one, buy a separate one or go elsewhere. Should you buy the Garmin HRM-Pro? Well, if you're in the Garmin ecosystem and it's at a discount and you want the data and dynamics that it captures, then yes, it's easy to use, it's comfortable, and I haven't found any difficulty wearing it whatsoever. If you're outside the Garmin ecosystem or it's at a full price, no, there's deals all over the place on the web. There's one caveat. Garmin seem to be about to launch the HRM-Pro Plus, which has a white band around it. it may be used for indoor metrics where there's no GPS. So if that happens, then the price of this will drop everywhere. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, it'd be great if you hit the like button. As always, there'll be lots of stuff down in the description below, and I'll happily answer any questions that you pop into the comments. There'll be a big blue subscribe button popping up there, and some radio videos there. Thanks for watching. Until the next video, just keep running along.